Hey, hey, hi, Enders. Hi, and welcome to the live. It's Tuesday, so happy Tuesday to everybody. You can see I'm sunburned. We've been to Croatia, as you can see, or not. If you're following my personal profile, I should post pictures in the group as well. So, but just to be clear, can you give me some high fives? And hey, Chris, Gord, hey, gorgeous. Give me an English high five. UK. So I just been to the hairdresser and was preparing for this live call. So let me appropriately address everybody and see if I can actually see myself properly. Hey, Chris. Perfect. You are actually perfect for this. Chris is one of my amazing relationship, love coach slash soulmate type of clients who worked with me and who actually got introduced to this method as well, like premium way of delivering things, which I still believe to this day is the best way to go about things, if the person doesn't necessarily want to go all big and create a big team and big system and all of those things that come with that, because there's a lot of responsibility and obligation that come with building a big system, right? So hey, how is England these days? How are you guys doing? Can you share a little bit so we know what is going on? I am actually up to date with the States and everything that is going on in the States right now, but I'm not that familiar with England. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm just trying to see myself. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. It's working. I can see. Oh my God, I am so sunburned. Okay, so sun is like really heavy. We went to Croatia. I think it was like Saturday. So we spent a day with all of the with three kids in Croatia. So we were having a field trip, and we actually went and had a look at some property and things like that, right? And then we went swimming, because so Adriatic Sea is cold for me because it's like 20 degrees, 21 tops. So that was cold for me, and it was kind of cold for Ariela as well. But guys, obviously, they went all in swimming and snorkeling, and they were I don't know, looking for fish. We even made a video underwater. It was just crazy. They had so much fun. I had also so much fun, but I got also sunburned, even though we did put lotion on and everything. So go figure. Yes, I love Croatia as well. It was actually nearby Pula. So we went for lunch there. But it was quite empty. I think it was like super empty for this time of the year. So I hope yeah, COVID is messing up everybody. It's creating a lot of disturbance globally, right? So I hope Croatians are going to be able to deal with that as well as everybody. They need to adapt and pivot and offer something new, right? So where have you been in Croatia, Chris? Yeah, so for example, Chris is one of the people who we actually tested this boutique genius-based business model, because I've been practicing this for 7 years now, and even before that in a different industry, which was more one-on-one high-end correction fitness exercise, and when I was living in Denmark. But it was still the same concept, even though my boss, if you will, my leader at that point, she had a team of 20 or something, but I would still call that she was still definitely running a boutique based business. It was not mass type of a business, right? And so I want to welcome everybody. Oh, you've been to lots of places. Zagreb, Ravinja, awesome. I don't know where Ravinja is. Maybe you think Rovin, it's by the sea. But yeah, Zagreb is awesome. It's been ages since since I actually spent a day in Zagreb. We used to go shopping there with my mom. So yeah, it's a very cool country in many ways. So yeah, I speak Croatian too. We can talk Croatian today. No, we're not gonna do that. So I can make sure that people understand who are here on the live. So for those of you who are new to the Highend State of Mind group, and also to remind you, this group is very boutique type of a group. So you can see, we're always going to be in a rather, small numbers of, members, and we're always going to be, aiming for that different type of approach. And I don't mean that, just with the way we deliver, the way we go about clients, the way we go about, weekly, daily being there for people who are in the group, but, actually, being really, hands-on and intentionally focused on serving. And that means all the things that are happening behind the scenes that you guys can't even see, but are, intentionally, they're in my schedule, they're in my VA schedule, they're, my accountant even knows about, some of the things, and even my coach for sure knows about that, right? And so like building and just kind of like weaving, all of that into the structure and, the bones of the group even, and, all the work that we do with the clients, right? And so, okay, I need to shout out to, so Daniela, I love you. You are amazing, right? She is still kind of closing that, last bit of her, from her last launch, which was for her Love IQ group. And she might want to correct me on that, but I think she just made like 70K cash payments in, I think it was like 16 days of sales or something like that. Crazy, insane results. I'm like, oh my God, awesomeness, right? And then we have another amazing badass, like she just joined. She was actually in the group since beginning, and she talked to me, and she was in my, in my surroundings for years now, even in on Instagram and all the things, right? But so now she finally committed to her own, success. And so she signed up for the 4 month of, Highend mentoring, and, really kind of like digging into her genius work and creating that flagship offer that she can actually be selling at premium pricing. And she is a true gangster on, Instagram and, what is the other, Periscope, I think, right? Like she's maniac, right? Like I think she has like 140,000 followers on Instagram. Nothing purchased, nothing bought, all true followers, right? So she's queen of that, and she has already made $10,500 in the last 6 days. So this was like 6 days ago when she said yes, she's entering the program, and she wanted to, make this full pay. And so I was like, let's do this. You can bring in money in such and such ways. After she shared with me shortly, like what is she offering right now, and she just went for it fully, created her own little system around that, and she's been just making sales on the daily ever since, right? So this is where you can see, how a proper support, a proper coach, a proper mentor who actually understands not only the personality, the psychology, right, but also, the story, and understands, of course, social media and marketing and all of the things, and how to make sales can be of massive, benefit to all of you, right? So, yes. So Chris was a real badass. Like after she stopped work, Chris was also badass. After she stopped working with me, we prepared that package. She worked with another mentor, and then she created, like in a matter of weeks, I think it was your first sale, Chris, was like $15,000 or something like that, and it was one-on-one package, which is awesome, amazing, blown away. Okay, so I am so excited about, you know, the work that those guys are doing, right? So for those of you who are not sure what I'm talking about, like, so I'm a high ticket mentor, right? And we have a global company called Success Matrix, where we help global service providers to create, sell and deliver those 5-figure sales, you know, 4 or 5-figure sales, and create those 6-figure leaps, right? In their business with the vehicle of high ticket sales and 4-step genius strategy, which, you know, everything combined is what I call, it's my own method, it's my own formula for success, right? And it's called, you know, premium disruption. So in that sense, we help clients, you know, to reach their mental, emotional, and financial leaps while they're creating a happier life. Because if you don't have time to spend with your family, or to be, you know, just like having a weekend off, which is necessity when we're doing, you know, high-end mentoring, high-end coaching, you know, then we didn't do a proper job. Okay, so to get to business and to keep it short-ish, right? No promises there. You know, I like to take time, you know, with my people and for my people, and, you know, this is my tribe we're talking about. So when talking about building a business, you know, we all want to avoid burnout and high cost of running a business, right? Which, you know, all, when they're wrongfully applied, you know, when you have a strategy that is wrongfully applied, this is going to be, you know, this is going to be definitely happening, you know, for you and within your business, right? So kind of like today I want to, you know, kind of like show you my behind the scenes, right? And kind of like what we have been, and, you know, have been proponents for, you know, for years. Like, it's been, I think, 7 years now that I'm doing this in the online setting, right? And, you know, this business model that we have been using, you know, to get, you know, to 6 figures in a matter of months, right? Instead of years or decades, God forbid, right? No need for that. And then further, right? So we're looking for that first or second or third or 10th, you know, 6-figure leap. And it can be, I really don't care. It can be, you know, when you're doing your launch that you go for 6 figures. It can be in your monthly, you know, income, or it can be in your, I don't know, 90 days type of a thing, right? Like, it really matters not. But I keep saying this, you know, like, a person in business can actually start being creative and kind of like start creating the dream team more and more efficiently. And I'm going to talk about that later, you know, and become like this, like, super expert, and, you know, be focusing on marketing and sales predominantly, right? Like, once you hit those like 6 figures, this becomes non-negotiable, and we have to start looking at, like, okay, where am I taking this business? You know, how am I going to run my, you know, 7-figure or, you know, 8-figure business, and still kind of like, you know, remain in this kind of like boutique way of doing things, because this is totally, you know, doable. It just means you're going to be inviting a little bit, you know, you're going to have a small team, right? Something that I call dream team. And, you know, people who are going to be helping you running your business, right? And helping you with all other things that are not directly, you know, correlated with making sales, doing marketing, PR, interviewing, podcasting, doing lives, you know, and all the things where you actually are promoting brand and helping to create, you know, bring in more valuable leads and you know, people who are willing and ready to do the work, right? So, and one of those strategies is also writing a book, etc., right? So all valuable strategies for business, right? And today we're talking about this like boutique way of doing things, right? And I'm going to share 2 very, very interesting, you know, client, friend, you know, concepts, you know, where I actually just realized today that I was immersed in this type of doing, you know, work and creating business ever since I was like little, right? And so I was like, how did I not, you know, I was like, how could I forget about this, right? So, yes, so this is where, you know, when you're kind of like clear within yourself for now, right, that you don't want to be building, you know, a bigger organization or have a massive team of employees, but you prefer to kind of like still have that freedom and flexibility, right? And this is something that, a boutique way of doing business can provide. And, so in that sense, you are in the right place, right? So let's talk about that boutique, what is boutique business? And, a business that still allows you, to travel, to have fun, to actually delegate things and kind of like, leave it, to your, dream team to play it out, or, to handle your clientele even, right? And so this is where, even though you're the expert, right, you do and you hire the best possible experts in your own field, so that you don't have to worry or interfere, and so that you can actually learn from them, right? And so this is, the best way to hire people is that you hire people that are smarter than you, that are more capable than you, that, are much bigger experts on, all these other areas than you, right? Because otherwise, how is your business ever going to grow, right? So boutique, way of doing business is actually, it operates, with a very small group of professionals, right? We can call them experts, right? So for example, we had anything between, 1 to even up to 10, or let's say 5 maybe, right? And so, I mean, and that includes, a VA or a tech VA, somebody, who is handling your website and things, right? Or, a lawyer or accountant, and, a coach, a mentor, or several of them, right? Or, whatever your, sorry, I just need to be that. Whatever your, expertise is, and whatever, you see fit, or like Instagram, strategist, or, Facebook marketer, or, branding person, like whatever, copywriter, if that's your thing, right? So, and this is where, you get to focus on, all of the team basically, but then, whoever works with the clients, and basically also who creates, marketing and sales, right? They all need to focus on superb client delivery, for a highly limited kind of, client list. So it goes for a small, kind of like small client list, right? It's not a big client list. And the delivery is usually from, this highly trained expert, and, it's provided through this type of like discreet and kind of like super tailored personal attention, right? And service. It's not out and about. It's not, in a public eye, because it's really like an exchange of like top tier expertise, if you will, right? So we love to pay premium price for those higher levels of service, because they bring that very, very deep transformation, or deep understanding of client's mind, or your own business even, right? Like, and so that's why we love to, hire and, play and, create businesses from this, from this setup, right? So it's kind of like it is offering a set of exclusive premium services or products, if we're talking retail, right? And I'm going to give you an example from both, right? That are, difficult to find anywhere else, right? It's where, if you, I often talk in my marketing, when I talk about my clients, when we go about their genius-based work. So it's a combination of their personal stories and personality, and their gifts, which are tangible and intangible, right? Once we create that combination and go with like what is their, purpose or path, or, desire, calling, through in terms of like working and mission, you can see that you actually go about creating something that is competition-less. So the moment they start offering that, to the market, they become the only one offering that. And therefore, you can be directing immediately those higher prices, right? You can be, immediately positioning yourself as premium, right? Oh yeah. Thank you, Chris. Oh, that is so sweet. Yes, we did a lot of nitty-gritty work. That's how I call it, right? I love that stuff. But it takes a lot of focus and time and attention on my end as well. And she was amazing, Chris. She had her full-time job, I think, when we started. She was doing a side job with her therapy work. and then with her rapid therapy, and then she started working with me. So if she can do it, anybody can do it, right? And then we changed that slowly through months of work, and even negotiated a better working position for her in terms of time spent in her job, and also I think money paid for that. So this is also, for example, let me just give you an example. So Chris is a very good example. I talked about her. So this is where, she became competitionless, right? Because she actually had a very, very unique set of skills and, educations and courses and, diplomas, let's put it like that, right? And then she had her own personal story, how she overcame a lot of things in her life, right? How she's dealing with them, and what she was actually experiencing in her life at that point. And then also she had a bunch of like maybe other gifts that were maybe more of spiritual nature that she didn't necessarily tap into fully, right? And so, as much as we could, we tapped into that. I think we had like a 3 months program or something like that, 4 months possibly. And so everything emerged, and, there was this like just juicy like stuff that, we could be like, I was like, this is super, super valuable. But, she was at a point where she couldn't really see it. And she was also so tired and exhausted from her job, and all the other things that she was doing for, a low fee, I would say, right? That, she was like, how am I ever, gonna be, selling this? And she was necessarily not so skilled at sales, but she's great at like talking and marketing and showing up. And there was that fear for, of like visibility and all of that, right? So there was a lot to handle. Yeah, we eventually reduced the day job. I think for like Fridays stayed yours, and then Thursday became yours, and possibly Wednesday. So it was a very, very obvious change and transformation for like all of her life, right? Yes, awesome, Chris. Yeah, because everybody needs, somebody who believes in you before, you do, right? Like even, everybody needs that, So, and it was a lot of blind spots and just, things like, mindset work while building that flagship offer, right? So, and this is how she became competition-less, and she could start positioning herself as such. And she had a Facebook group. So, it became like, she immediately started, she had, some inquiries before, but there was no clear system on, how, who, where. There was no clear like essential model in her offers, right? And so, so we kind of like tapped into all of that, and then she continued her work with all of that as well with other coaches. So, or I can give you, for example, for those of you who are maybe more like in some sort of like a retail shop or something like that. My friend had, I live right now in this kind of like smallish town where we have like 20,000 people, right? And so my friend had this very, very modern jewelry shop, right? And so this is like, it's a small city type of situation, right? And it's like, a lot of, people around here are still very like rural, right? So, this is what you get. It's a small city, right? So, and then, so she opened this like very, very modern jewelry boutique shop, right? High, like super modern, like I've never seen anything like it, right? Obviously, she went abroad, and, I'd, something that would speak to that, like really, really kind of like high tech type of, but very, very small, very tiny shop where, it was just brilliantly positioned, and, how they did all like the smallest, tiniest elements of that shop where everything was so intentional, right? That you just had to kind of like love it or hate it, right? But you couldn't deny that, she had a lot of like style, and she was very like clear and confident and firm in her, attitude, right? And so people knew, that if you wanted this like unique, tailored type of, a gift for, a very, very special person, you would always come to her, like my friend, right? And she would be not just like selling you in terms of like, oh, what is, higher priced. It would be more like, what is the occasion, you know, how old is this person, how does she look like, how does she behave, like what type of, I don't know, perfume does she like. She had like you know, buyer psychology in her, like, you know, pinky, right? And she was also very, very skilled on, you know, just jewelry in general, like all the metals and all the things. She would create, you know, even like, you know, she would be very, very, you know, inclined to create jewelry for you if you wanted to do that. Like she would send that out to, you know, other experts that she worked with, right? So it was a very, very, very tailored, very, very boutique type, like kind of approach, right? And, you know, she was also very, very skilled in, like, you know, all the like social etiquetting. So, you know, she would know, you know, what is appropriate gift for any occasion, right? And so this really made her a different type of a seller, if you will, right? Or a different type of a person. She was demanding, as even as somebody who was selling to you, she was demanding because she was asking all these questions, you know, when you came to her. Like, right? So you really had to make, you know, some, you know, powerful decisions on the spot, right? And then, you know, of course, she would have always, you know, a bit like, or substantially, you know, higher prices than anywhere else. But the things you could, you know, you can get there, like you couldn't really get them anywhere else. Okay. So this is how, you know, she differentiated herself, right? She was very, very smart. She still is, right? So this kind of like made her positioning unique and special, even in the small town, right? She had her vision, she stick to it until, you know, they, like years and years later when they closed the shop, okay? So running a boutique genius-based business is a decision that you're gonna be like, you're gonna be focusing on this like excellent or brilliant delivery. And it's kind of like a commitment that you will place, you know, that you will cherish quality over quantity, right? So this is where, you know, all the handwork gets in, you know, all the countless hours, you know, spent in the library gets, you know, they like everything that you've, you know, ever kind of like watched and, you know, learned and, you know, appreciated about life, like it gets, you know, to be placed in every book you've ever read, right? Hey Blanche. Hey sweetie, drop me an emoji, will you? How are you doing? How are you doing? So we're talking about this genius-based boutique business and how, you know, and how to go about that, right? We've been doing that for over 7 years, right? And so when I was telling the story, you know, I completely forgot that, you know, I used to spend hours and hours and hours in this, you know, friend's boutique, jewelry boutique shop, right? Like even before the older location that she had, and then a lot in this new location, right? And so I just kind of like remember today, I was like, oh my God, like I actually picked up a lot of her listening and action and asking those direct questions. And kind of like just how she flew the sales, like, right? It was just kind of like she was brilliant at, you know, creating and making sales basically, right? And so, or, you know, at having you come back and buy, right? She was so good at that. So, you know, that's something to admire. So this is, you know, running a boutique genius-based business is a decision. So it's all going to be about this excellent delivery, knowing your client's mind, knowing what's needed, you know, and knowing what's wanted, right, and desired. So it's where, of course, you know, quality will take over quantity. Then it's about differentiating yourself in a marketplace by offering this unique way, this tailored approach, this, you know, actually offering and delivering this very, very different, you know, uniquely yours, you know, uniquely your way of offering that service or, you know, product, right? So, and thirdly, it is this like, it is also this kind of like constant strive, you know, to be making things more elegant, more simple, and more, you know, in the flow. So all the things that we've been practicing, talking, preaching, teaching, mentoring, coaching for, you know, over 7 years now, and even more so. Okay. And so this is where, you know, with all this being said, because once the client comes, you know, into my space, they have a lot of things. It's a big mess of all things, right? And they're not sure what goes where, how to even start, right? But they want to do this delivery. They want to, you know, be charging premium. They want to be differentiating themselves. They want to be working less. They want to be, you know, paid more for that hour that they spend with clients or client, right? And so they want to be, and then they also want to be closing the doors and leaving. And they want to have a weekend off or a week off or a month off. If that's, how you set up your business, you can surely do that, okay? It's not about work at all, right? So this also means that, focusing, on the less is more, and building the dream team, of the closest experts, right? So as I was mentioning before, it's like, you're gonna have, like, when I made my first 6 figures in 6 months, I had like a quarter hour, like half, okay, no, she was like a half full-time employee VA that, created my welcome packages and all the things that I couldn't be bothered, like I didn't have time because I was busy with, client delivery, right? And so that was all, right? And then, of course, somebody, accountant, because that's obligatory in Europe, in Slovenia, and a lawyer, who drafted the contract or, looked at the contract. And then that was it, right? So, of course, and my mentor, coach, right? So, but that's kind of it, right? So it's kind of like, it's very lean type of, a business model, and that suits me well. How is that speaking to you, Blanche? You are in a very different type of a business, I think, if I remember correctly. You guys are doing something industry-wise? No, Blanche is actually, I think we met on Instagram. She's doing something, she's quite unique. She's doing something with her, she's a hand crafter, or how do you call that, like, right? She makes amazing things with her artistry, right? So that's amazing, right? And she could be also, positioning herself as a much more, I'm sorry, Blanche, I hope I'm not speaking too blunt here. I really need to remember, because I want to make it right here, right? So, but so this is where you have this approach where you're like, oh, like, Blanche, oh, she does this, like, or, oh, she's amazing at, baking apple pies. You have to taste that slice of heaven. Or, with Chris, like, she's, amazing at, her English accent is just so adorable. Like, so like, who, like, and her expertise is off the roof, right? Like, she's amazing, right? And so you would just kind of like know who to talk to in order to, get that expertise going. So it's kind of like more, it's very kind of like unique and like expertise based, client delivery. So I hope this makes sense, because I was trying to keep it simpler and more elegant and more in the flow and all the things, right? Because to this day, you have to remember that people, we all want and kind of like need as well, and we can, we can be, open and honest about that or not, right? But we all want and need that very, very specific attention. Oh, Chris, come on. We are all like, we love your accent. You did that video. You were so beautiful on that. Like, I wish I looked so cool. So what I was saying, so it's, what was I saying? Now I forgot a little bit. So yeah, but this is like when you're going about the business where you actually, either it's like you want to be, bringing the cash in, or you want to position yourself differently than everybody else in the market. And you want to be, you want to find that kind of like unique niche that you are going to be able then to kind of like explore and dive into, and you fall in love, and like explore your own genius, and how it transforms and evolves and all the things, right? And so this is where when you're having like a boutique based business, it still allows a lot of time where you can actually take a Friday off and just study, right? Or have a weekend where you can actually take total time off and go and go to Croatia and get a sunburn. I mean, this is like, it's been a while, right? I think since everybody was like so kind of like locked inside, we are now more sensitive to the sun, which is ridiculous, but okay. So yeah, so this is like, this is something that I really wanted to share with everybody, right? Because I get often asked, what does it mean, being premium? Everybody's doing premium, but it's like, what does it really mean? What does it really entail? And so besides having, of course, an amazing flagship offer that is very layered, right? Because if your flagship offer is just like, a bunch of things like, plastered together, that's not gonna really last. It's not a good business strategy. I would say having a great flagship offer is as vital as having, a business model or, a financial projection or a marketing calendar or whatever you have in your business right now that you think like, oh my God, I could not, be living without this, right? But flagship offer done and based on your like genius zones is gonna be the thing that you always come back to. And it's like, as we mature, so does our work. And so the way we do the flagship work here, and why it takes weeks instead of just like 45 minutes, we're done, here's your flagship, go now and sell it, right? It's like, I actually believe that our clients deserve better. And so if this is something that you want to be claiming as your life's work, then for sure you want to be like putting, those hours in and kind of like, okay, like really connecting the dots and really going like, what is a transformation process? Like, how do I take them from one to, from A to B to C to D? And then also depending, how long is that going to take? Because again, like emotional stuff is going to take longer. Transformational stuff is going to take longer. Maybe like other more marketing / branding / sales tactics strategies can be, shorter if that's something that you want, right? But everybody will appreciate if you took time to really understand what needs to happen. And at the same time, you keep educating yourself, right? Like I just entered this business incubator like in January, which was quite a challenge, and because I was kind of like actively seeking for a different way of doing my own business, still, very like premium and, this like boutique way of doing business. But it's like, I wanted, more like business education and all of that. So I stepped into that, which was, it was a substantial investment, right? And, allowed other experts, on sales, on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on groups, like, and like to teach me on all the things that you need, in today's world to be like successful, in your business and running a successful 7-figure plus company, right? And so this is something that, I've been working on with my team behind the scenes, but, you're not going to see that until we're like, out there and, like proclaiming, whatever figure we're going to be at. It's not about the figure per se as it is about how many clients can we serve. And, if I would be bold enough, I would say, that bringing 100 people to 1 million, along with me would be the best gift ever, right? So, if that's something that, I can, have the honor to be doing, then I'm going to show up for that, right? And so this is something where it's always going to be a mix of calling. It's not just like, like this is now a popular tactic, like let's jump on that train. It's not about that at all. It's more about what is the desire, what is kind of like pulling you, forward right now in your life. Where is the, kind of like, where do you still feel unsatisfied? What needs to change? What business strategy is not working for you? How can you simplify? How can you make things more elegant? How can you make things much more, your time much more valuable and worthy, right? And start pricing, your offers accordingly, right? Because, if we're about to change anything, we need to be also bringing in a lot more than just, 6-figure into our household in order to, be a part or, actively creating a change or supporting a cause or donating or whatever is a part of your business strategy, right? Or or whatever is a part of you being a human, right? So it's just math, but it's also common sense, right? And it's also kind of like invitation where those of the people who I know have this like urge and at the same time this uncomfortable calling that just keeps calling them to move forward and to actually deepen the work, because there's a lot of depth in this work, right? There's a lot of deepening and asking yourself all the questions that you're going to be then asking your clients. And so it's also uncomfortable, but it's such a beautiful and creative process, as Chris shared. Oh, that's so sweet, Chris, you showed up today. You didn't even sign up for the event. Like, what happened there? I don't understand that. I'm just joking. So yes, so this is like just kind of like open invitation. I just want to see more people, right? So I'm as you can see, there is success. I've changed some of the structure of some of the programs, but basically we're teaching the same. We're just I'm always like observing and learning and implementing new platform strategies, if you will, right? This is how this group also came to be, right? So this was not something that I was like, yes, let's make another Facebook group. It was more like, okay, it makes sense because I actually do enjoy having conversation with my people, so and they need that. Okay, so I hope this me showing up once or twice a week and sharing my posts and all the things in one place is where you can actually start to benefit and implement and go into the units and check all the whatever is needed for you, and then just also ask me or DM me and let me know like what part of the teaching or what part of the coaching or mentoring are you interested in, right? So that we can support you at your best. So I'm gonna leave you with that because I have another call that I have to attend to. And this was a pleasure as always, right? And so if anybody is interested in creating your own boutique genius-based business, I want you to start having that conversation with me. I always go for DMs first, and so just open up that conversation with me, and we'll be also DMing everybody around that, because I can just feel there's time for like a massive change and a massive shift. And if I would be so blessed that like 100 people from this group became millionaires in a matter of like 5 years, I would be like blown away. Okay, so if that's something that it's on your mind, and you're wondering, how am I gonna get there? What is the strategy? How to even start, and you're not sure, and you're not selling yet at a premium, or you are, but you are, you're not selling, enough, or not in a way that you can actually be delivering. So we need to start implementing groups for you, or I would say the best strategy is kind of like to work with one-on-ones and have this really, really high offers for that. And be working with the group program as well, and have that like kind of like mid-tier for that, right? That's enough from what I'm seeing and observing. That's actually enough, but you can have the third offer, whatever, but like that's plenty already. And then we can focus on, like with some of the clients we're going to be creating then second group, third group, and kind of like just serving that. Or you can be having one group and adding all the people into that, and just like serving everybody at the same time while you're creating, for example, a membership site where they can actually learn all the the basics or everything about your own method, or how they can implement that. And like, so it's always going to be a hybrid of things the way we work around here, right? And as always, it's all going to be tailored to your own lifestyle, to your own personality, to your own gifts and skills, right? And so that's what makes it unique with me, right? Because I don't shy away from spending countless hours behind the scenes and working on, my clients' progress, and that's daily, right? So my clients know also that I spend a lot of time with them if that's needed, in the DMs, or explaining and teaching, coaching on things, and also, supporting them actively, right? So if you're paying premium, then that's what you deserve, okay? So if you're looking for that, and if you want to know more about the boutique genius-based business where you can be charging 5 figures and being creating those 6-figure leaps in a matter of weeks, months, let me know. I'm going to drop a link below. And if this was an awesome session, I also want you to be like, yes, you're the boss, we love you, and all that. So I'm just having some fun today. So with all that being said, have a wonderful day. I love you all, and stay powerful. Okay, bye.